Hello everyone, welcome to Bay94, the first ever episode of my YouTube show where I'm going to be talking about different film news and casting and rumors as they kind of come, and just basically talk through some things that appeal to me and just some general things that hopefully you find something that is going to interest you. And I'm going to try and cover as many franchises as I can, but obviously I'm going to focus on the big ones and maybe a few different kind of things as well. So hopefully you get something out of it. So basically we're going to fire straight into the news and just get talking about some different things that have been happening. And this week I'm going to be talking about, first of all, is another day, another Star Wars Episode 8 script leak. And I know this isn't really news, but I feel it's something that we should discuss because people are obviously still really passionate. People are really excited, understandably, about Episode 8. So basically, the leak comes from, I think it's Star Wars Theory, is the YouTube channel. And I'll be putting a link in the description down below for the original video. And I won't go into too much detail about it, but basically, it relates to Anakin's father, and then it's a big reveal, very much in the similar vein as the Empire Strikes Back, Luke, I am your father thing. And I suppose a lot of people are maybe believing it because, in the same way that Force Awakens followed A New Hope very closely, I think people are thinking, oh, well, this makes total sense. Because Episode 8 is going to follow Empire Strikes Back, so it makes sense that there's going to be a sort of fatherhood reveal thing. So it's not a bad idea, the actual leak, but is it true? There's no way of saying, and there's no point getting too worked up about it because we've had hundreds of these before. We're going to get more, and we'll wait and see which ones are true. There's no point in getting too worked up about this sort of thing yet. I mean, we've still got Rogue One, and we haven't seen anything from Episode 8 so far, and I really think it's far too early to get too into all the sort of news relating to that. So I think it's not worth looking into much. But if you're into sort of this rumor and gossip and all this sort of stuff, which is always fun to talk about, I'm still thinking about who Rey's parents are. So, if that's what you're into, maybe look into it. If not, then just give it a pass. Next, I want to talk about Transformers news. And I know Transformers is a bit of a touchy subject for some people. The movies aren't that popular, which is fair enough. I mean, they're not the best. I totally get that. I'm not too much of a fan, but I guess I enjoy them enough. And I know some people who are really into Transformers, so I hear a lot about it. And I know a little bit about the universe just thanks to some of my friends who are really passionate about it. So I thought I'd share it for Transformer fans' sake. But basically, there is a rumor that they have cast King Arthur in the movie. I don't know if it's confirmed, but it looks likely that King Arthur is going to be in it, and it makes total sense considering everything we've found out so far and sort of the filming in Skye that's happened and all this medieval things that are going on. So that sounds kind of cool. I mean, I think it's certainly got me interested, that's for sure. I'm certainly curious to see what direction they take this in, this whole kind of medieval side of things. And that's going to certainly add something new to these Transformers movies rather than just robots fighting in the middle of a city. I think it's going to be quite interesting. I imagine it's going to be time travel or something. I don't know how Michael Bay is going to be able to pull that off, but it's certainly made me interested. Will I go see it? I'm not sure, but I'm curious to see what happens there, I will be honest. So next I want to talk about is a Warhammer 40k fan film that's been released, and there's been lots of buzz around this. And I know Warhammer and Games Workshop and all that is quite niche, so I'm going to keep this quite short, this bit. But I think it's an amazing universe. I find it really interesting, really passionate about it. So I thought I'd share this. And I'm really passionate about fan movies. I really loved the Maul short film that came out recently. I thought that was amazing. And I'm a real supporter of these because I think they're brilliant. And I think they're a great way for these companies to kind of get some free publicity. And I think it's a real shame when a lot of them take them down. A lot of them kind of get rid of these these kind of love letters to franchises. It's a real shame, but it can't really be helped. So I really hope that it stays up. I hope it doesn't get taken down, and I hope it gets the love and support that it deserves. It's called The Lord Inquisitor, and I might put a link down to that below as well if you want to check that out, because I think it's brilliant, and hopefully it'll lead to better things down the line for Warhammer 40k in terms of actual big screen cinema. Because honestly, if you can do a Warcraft movie, you can do a Warhammer 40k movie, you can do a Warhammer movie. I really don't see how you can't when you can do something with with a game franchise like Warcraft. So we'll wait and see. I really hope that happens. But there's no way of knowing at this point. So check that out if you want to. I'd highly recommend it. And finally, the big news is the arrival of Deathstroke. And I think everyone maybe knew I was going to talk about this because it's obviously kind of the big announcement that was made. I think it happened last night or something. Ben Affleck has basically released footage on his, I can't remember, it was Twitter or something, of Deathstroke, test footage of Deathstroke on the Justice League set. And it's amazing. He looks great. You should really check it out. And they've got the costume nailed. It's very much in line with the Arkham Deathstroke kind of costume, which is badass. So, yeah, they've done that. They've done really well. So we'll wait and see. We don't know who's in the costume, if they've actually cast him yet. It could just be a stunt guy. Maybe they're not casting him because the line is that he's going to be the villain in the Ben Affleck solo movie rather than be much of a player in the Justice League, which I hope is the case. But I think some people are whining, saying that, oh, they're cramming, they're trying to do more universe building. But I really don't think the appearance of Deathstroke at the end or part of Justice League is a real detriment to the movie. I think it'll be fine, and I think it's going to help set up some sense of dread for the Ben Affleck Batman movie. If we see Deathstroke kick some ass in Justice League, maybe show us that he's a major threat, I think that's not going to do any harm. I think it's going to get people pretty excited because I think they've also got a bit of an uphill battle in terms of convincing people to get on board with Deathstroke as the main villain. I mean, my initial reaction was I thought this was really cool. We know we're going to have our, in the same way Bane was the physical match to Batman in the Nolan universe, it's in my opinion, it's going to be Deathstroke is going to be this physical and mental challenge to Batman in this universe. He's going to be our Bane. And I think that's going to be quite interesting to watch. And I think it's cool to always have the guy who's the match for Batman and the guy who seemingly can't be beaten by anyone. So, and that'll be really cool. I hope that Joker is still in it, though. I do want to see a lot more of Jared Leto's Joker. I mean, I think a lot of people don't know what they think of that yet. So I think he needs another chance to prove himself because I think there's a lot of people who are still on the fence about him. He didn't do terribly, but a lot of people think he didn't do that great as they were expecting. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But essentially, that's all I wanted to talk about right now. I'm trying to keep these quite short, so you can kind of get as much information as you can in quite a short period of time. So I'll release another one of these in a couple of days, just basically whenever big announcements come, I'm going to group them all together and then do a video. Maybe weekly or something, but basically coming up soon is I'm doing a review of War Dogs, which is going to be released probably a little bit after this, a few hours maybe. And after that, I'll be moving on to doing a Sausage Party review, and then maybe a few other things after that. I'm just going to leave it and see where I go with things. But I hope you enjoyed this first ever episode of Bay 94, and I hope you come back to see other ones, and I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you next time.